Access Minnesota. Issues that matter to you. Access Minnesota brings you the newsmakers and the stories that shape our everyday lives, with analysis from University of Minnesota faculty experts.
Welcome to Access Minnesota. This past December, the Minnesota Army National Guard's 1st Brigade Combat Team, 34th Infantry Division, known as the Red Bulls, completed its historic mission to safely escort U.S. equipment and troops out of Iraq. Operation New Dawn, the official name for the drawdown in Iraq, was the largest logistical operation since the Battle of the Bulge in World War II. On this edition of Access Minnesota, we follow the Red Bulls as they turn out the lights on U.S. military operations in Iraq. I spent time with the soldiers at several camps in Kuwait and joined them on a convoy mission into Iraq.
It all began back in May of last year when some 2,400 Minnesota Guard soldiers deployed to Fort McCoy, Wisconsin for training. The Red Bulls had two major missions, providing security for convoys and managing the U.S. bases in Kuwait. From mid-May to mid-July, the Guard soldiers trained at Fort McCoy, simulating the kinds of duties they would perform in Kuwait and Iraq. The soldiers marked the end of training with a deployment ceremony at the fort. When the festivities were over, they packed up their gear and boarded planes bound for Kuwait. At Camp Virginia in Kuwait, the Sauk Center-based Company C, 1st Combined Arms Battalion, 194th Armory, conducted convoy security missions into Iraq. On this December night, the soldiers of Crazy Horse Company are making final preparations before escorting trucks to Camp Adder in southern Iraq. It will be one of their final missions of Operation New Dawn. While the Minnesota Guard soldiers handle the gun trucks, the semis are driven by third country nationals, or TCNs in military terminology. Tonight, most of the TCNs are from Egypt.
Who speaks English? No English.
First Lieutenant Kimphis Turner of St. Paul briefs the truck drivers.
Okay, we've all done this before, right? Is
The
anybody
TCNs
new?
speak little English, but they have been driving the convoy trucks for some time and seem to know the routine.
Here's the deal. When we drive, make sure you drive far enough so if you have to stop, you don't crash. Okay? So leave space in between each other when you drive. Okay? Again, if there's any attack, any bombs, any gunfire, if we keep moving, you keep moving. Do not stop. We will handle it. Okay? Just keep going.
Before the convoy departs, Staff Sergeant Todd Turner from Sauk Center describes the mission as well as the risks.
There's a kidnapping warning out. All right? Credible intelligence has been received that insurgent cell has acquired Iraqi Army uniforms and base passes and plans to kidnap an American soldier either on base or during a convoy mission.
Before rolling out, First Lieutenant Kimphis Turner offers a prayer.
Dear Lord, we bow, giving praise and thanks for life, for the blessings of friendship and the ability to serve our great nation. We ask that you stay the enemy's hand this evening and tomorrow evening, that they may be at rest so that we can travel from point A to point B safely. If by any chance the enemy has already laid his snare, let us be vigilant enough, diligent enough, and observant enough to identify the threat before it has a chance to do any harm. Our families are at home awaiting our return. Allow us to bless them. In your name we in prayer. Amen.
Amen.
While on the road, there's chatter on the radio and the intercom, but the trip is uneventful. When we arrive at Adder, once the largest base in southern Iraq, we find it mostly deserted. There's no place to stay on post, so we prepare to sleep in the trucks or outside. But the first priority is to build a fire, and wood is scarce. The primitive conditions at Adder, now called Contingency Base Adder, illustrates the magnitude of the U.S. drawdown. Adder's once busy chow hall, post store, and fast food restaurants are closed. When I was last at Adder in 2007 at the height of the troop surge, the housing was comfortable and there were plenty of amenities. No more. Once the fire is lit, we try and sleep. The return leg of the mission gets underway at 3 the following morning, and there isn't much to do in the meantime but sleep, eat, and chat.
There's a tense moment during the return trip to Camp Virginia. The convoy halts while the lead gun truck investigates a suspicious object at the side of the road. It could be an aiming device for an EFP, explosive force projectile, but the soldiers determined it is safe to continue on. A few weeks earlier, an EFP exploded during a Crazy Horse Company convoy escort mission, causing slight damage to one of the gun trucks, but fortunately, no one was injured. When Access Minnesota returns, a look at the technology that helps keep our soldiers safe.
Access Minnesota will return after these messages.